Because of Mr. Terupt by Rob Ullea. Pages 28 to 42. Chapters Luke to Jessica. Luke. We moved from cool math right into wicked science. The only thing I didn't like about our science unit was that we had to have partners. I prefer to do my projects alone, but Mr. Terupt teamed us up. We were working with plants, and he said that we didn't have enough space for everyone to have their own. Jeffrey was my partner, which, believe it or not, worked out great, because he let me do whatever I wanted. He didn't care. The only bad part was that he was always grumpy. $1 We studied phototropisms by observing how our plant grew toward light after we stuffed it into a box that only had a tiny hole inside. Then we studied geotropism by observing how our plant grew towards the ceiling even after we took the plant on its side for a few days. And then we were given the opportunity to study a variable on our own. Mr. Terupt told us to manipulate the plant's nourishment. Feed it whatever you want, he said. Make your own concoctions. Jeffrey left me alone. He hated school and everything about it. That day, I hurried home and studied my periodic table. I had received a special chemistry set last Christmas. Hydrogen and oxygen make a special bond when they come together to form water. So I figured I should try to recreate that special bond with whatever molecular ingredient I chose. I looked through the chemicals in my set, and I picked the ones that would result in the same type of electron bounce that occurred in the hydrogen and oxygen bond. I took my ingredients to school and got ready to measure a mix. Jeffrey was slightly interested at this point. Mr. Terupt, on the other hand, appeared a little uneasy about the whole thing, but he never stopped me. Luke, sometimes when you mix chemicals, it can cause a reaction, which then explodes. I know, I said. Maybe we shouldn't mix those in the classroom without knowing what's going to happen, he said. It might not be safe. All these potions came from my chemistry set at home. My mom saw it. It's safe, I said, trying my best to convince Mr. Terupt. I didn't tell Mom or Mr. Terupt about the few ingredients I got from Dad's garage. I knew it would work. Hey guys, come and look at all the stuff Luke's mixing together, Chris yelled. I felt everyone gather behind me as I began mixing my substances together in a bowl. But before I could feed my plant, something happened. First, the bowl started feeling warm, then hot. The potion turned dark green, and then gray. It started bubbling, first slowly, then rapidly. I knew this was bad. Back up! Everybody back up! Get away from it, Mr. Terupt ordered. Smoke started billowing from my concoction, and the screech of fire alarm pounded against my ears. The only other thing I heard was Peter laughing. This is awesome, he yelled. Way to go, Loopster. Outside! Everybody outside, Mr. Terupt ordered. I was done for. I was sure. Wrong again. Mr. Terupt spoke to Mrs. Williams and took the blame for everything. He even stood up to the fire marshal, who always walks through the building after an unannounced fire alarm. The marshal wanted our $1 posters taken off the hallway walls. He claimed that they were a fire hazard. Jeffrey thought that this confrontation was a big deal. Did you see Terupt say no to that guy, he said. He refused to take our posters down. I saw, I said, and I saw flashbacks of snow pouring out of the ball. I knew I never was going to be a botanist, $1. At least Jeffrey had gotten out excited about something. I wish Mr. Terupt hadn't trusted us so much. Maybe it was because he was a first-year teacher and he didn't know better. But I don't think that was it. I think it was a case of Mr. Terupt being a special teacher. Jeffrey. Luke was trying to feed our plant. I saw the smoke rising. I knew what was going to happen. Terupt did too, because I saw him go to the windows right away. Not fast enough, though. The alarm still went off. The whole school had to go outside because of Luke. When we came back in, some guy was walking down the hall with the janitors, Mr. Loomis and Mr. Ruddy. Terupt sent us into the classroom, but he stayed in the hall. I hid by the door to listen. All of it, the man yelled. I want all of it off the walls. He was pointing to all math posters. Mr. Loomis looked at Terupt. You heard him, he said. I'm not taking him down, Terupt said. You know who this is, Mr. Ruddy said. This is the fire marshal. Terupt said, I don't care who it is. I'm not taking him down. He looked at the fire marshal and said, You have no idea how hard my kids worked on these. He's pointing at our posters. He's pointing at my poster. It only had one word on it. Stupid. And it wasn't even a dollar word. All of a sudden, I felt bad because I hadn't even tried on Terupt's project. There were some more words said, but then the fire marshal left. The poster stayed. I hope he felt stupid. Terupt came back into the room, and Peter was out of his seat. Mr. T, you just told that guy off, Peter said, dancing around. That was awesome. No, I didn't, Terupt said. Get in your seat. You shouldn't have seen that. But I saw it, and I heard it. Terupt stuck up for us. There's always posters up in the school halls, and they're never fire hazards. I think the fire marshal was just mad about our false alarm, and I think Terupt knew that too. He wasn't going to get pushed around. Our hard work mattered to Terupt. Even mine. I owed it now. I even had to try. Even just a little. Anna. I didn't want my plan to die. I didn't want to put it in that box. Everyone was staring at me. I started crying. Mr. Terupt took me into the hall. Anna, what's wrong? I don't want to kill my plant, I blurted out. My back slid down the wall and I put my hand in my hands. We're not going to kill your plant, Mr. Terupt knelt in front of me. Yes, you are, I said. If we put it in the box, it's going to kill it. We'll take it out before it dies, he promised. No, I do not want to hurt it. Tell you what, Anna. Let us do the experiments that are lined up for your plant. We have to, because Danielle's your partner, and she needs to do the science too. Then, when we're all done, I'll let you take my plant, our control. The one that we don't do anything to. Still didn't like the idea of hurting my plant, but I like getting the control. I think he saw my hesitation. Plus, since you're working with Danielle, I have a feeling that your plant is actually going to be just fine. I didn't know Danielle that well. She's never been in my class before. She seems nice. I like her. Sometimes she's friends with Alexa. I don't know why. I'm glad I'm partners with Danielle and not Alexa. I've never been in Alexa's class, but I can tell she's mean. All the other girls listen to her, though. Katie, Emily, Heather, Natalie, all of them. Not me. I stay away from her. My mom has warned me not to get involved in that popularity stuff. She was ostracized once. That means no one wanted to be friends with her. My mom told me it was like there were a big group of people holding hands in a circle, and she was never let in. She always had to stand outside of the circle. Mom doesn't ever want that to happen to me. When she was 16 and pregnant with me, I could tell that she still hurts inside from all of it. Even her own parents shunned her. That's why she quit school shortly after I was born and moved out. She tried to move in with my dad. I've never met him, but that didn't work out. He left. Mom says we can talk about my dad and the whole situation when I'm older. All I know is that she says he's a nice man. My grandma and grandpa, I've never met them either, still don't want anything to do with us. They moved far away after my mom moved out. My mom might be young, but she's still a great mom. She's my best friend, and I love her. If you love someone, you don't just quit on them because they made a mistake. Mr. Terupt helped me stand up. Trust me on this one, he said. Be positive. We headed back into the classroom. My plant went into the box and came out a few days later, a little and yellow without a lot of new growth. But it was alive. Turning it on its side wasn't harmful, so I was okay with the test, and it was our chance to feed it with whatever we wanted. Mr. Terupt was right. Danielle knew what she was doing. Here's a list of things we could mix together, Danielle said. I read the list. I didn't know everything on it. How did she? My grandmother helped me with it, she said. She's always been good at growing things. She said that's the reason why we have successful crops on the farm. Both of us brought in some of the ingredients. We mixed them together and fed our plant. Ours is the only one to survive. It turned really green and grew and grew and grew. I took the control home, but Danielle and I decided to leave the plant at school. We kept feeding it and everyone watched it grow. It grew almost to the ceiling, wrapping itself around the cord to the blinds, all the way up. Then one day it was knocked over. Somehow our super duper plant fell off the windowsill. No one knows how it happens. I have a pretty good idea though. I bet Alexa did it. Because it happened when she's been so nasty to Danielle. I'm thankful that Mr. Terupt let me take the control home. I didn't want her to hurt that one too. I like being Danielle's partner. I wonder now if Mr. Terupt knew what was starting to happen between me and Danielle. I wonder. Jessica. My daily routine included lunch with Alexa and the girls, minus Danielle and Anna. They sat alone. And then recess. Alexa found it funny to see how upset Danielle would get. Right about this same time, I was finishing the book Belle Teal. I loved Belle. I wanted her to be my friend. She was honest and courageous. What would Belle do in my shoes? That was easy. She would do the right thing. And doing the right thing meant giving someone a chance. Danielle didn't seem anything like that Alexa made her out to be. I decided it was time to talk to Danielle and find out for myself. I set out to find Danielle the next day at recess. I spotted her from a distance. She was drawing in the dirt with a stick. Hi, Danielle, I said as I approached, clutching my latest book, Where the Red Fern Grows, close to me. What do you want? She shot back, jabbing her stick too hard in the ground, causing it to snap in half. She turned away. It sounded like she was crying. Are you okay? I walked closer. No. Lexi's been really mean to me, and it's all your fault. She threw her sticks on the ground. My fault? She blamed me? Why didn't I see it coming? It made perfect sense. I was a new girl, and my rival pushed her out of the group. I'm sorry, I said. I stood there. I wanted to be back in California anyway. I miss my dad. Danielle began scratching pictures in the dirt with her finger. I'm sorry I said that. It's not your fault. I sat down. It's just Lexi's ignoring me, talking about me, saying mean stuff, Danielle went on. She doesn't sit with me at lunch. She's not playing with me. Now all the other girls are doing the same thing. They always do what Alexa says. Anna's the only one who's still nice, and I'm not supposed to be friends with her. Why not? I asked. My family, especially my grandma, thinks she's a bad influence. I don't get it. My mom and dad used to be friends with her grandparents and... You mean her parents? I interrupted. No, her grandparents. Danielle stopped moving the dirt and sat up to explain. My mom and dad are 47. They had my older brother Charlie when they were 20. At the same time, Anna's grandparents had Anna's mother. They were all friends at church, and that's how they knew each other. Charlie's 27, so Anna's mom must be 27 too. And Anna's 11, I said, quickly putting all the pieces together. So that means her mom was 16 when Anna's was born. That's right, Danielle said. And that's why your family, especially your grandmother, thinks Anna will be a bad influence? Yes, Danielle said. I think they figure that Anna will be like her mother, and that's not the type of people churchgoers should associate with. I didn't like what I was hearing. None of it seemed fair to Anna, but I wanted to learn more about her mother's story. What happened after Anna was born? I'm not sure, Danielle said. I just know it's only Anna and her mother now. None of that's her fault, I said matter-of-factly. Danielle nodded. She bent forward and started drawing in the dirt again. I decided not to push it forward. She seemed upset by it too. I'll play with you, I said. You will? The hint of a smile spread its way across Danielle's dirt-streaked, teary face. Sure, and I won't listen to Alexa. I slid where the red fern grows off to the side and dug into the earth with my finger. I know that book. My grandmother read it to me. It's very good, I said. Everyone loves the character with a dog. That's something my dad told me. It's a sad story, but I won't tell you what happens. Please don't. We can talk about it when I get done, though. Sure, she said, shrugging her shoulders. We sat next to each other, scratching pictures in the dirt until the whistle sounded. Recess was over. We stood and brushed ourselves off. That's when I saw Danielle's dirt sketch of two dogs. That's a great picture, Danielle. Thanks, she said. I liked it now. There were a lot of interesting things to learn about her, I could tell. I grabbed my book and we were headed toward the building. Then I saw Anna wandering over by herself. I wonder if she wanted to be a loner. Or did she want friends? Why did she try so hard to be invisible? Was she embarrassed by her family situation? And how many people actually knew all that stuff of her mother? Act 2, Scene 3. I was walking with Danielle when all of a sudden she rushed ahead and hurried inside. Looking up, I found out why. Alexa got right in my face. Like, what are you doing? I thought I told you not to be friends with her. Alexa's head jerked from side to side as she talked. It reminded me of a bobblehead. She blocked my way, her hands on her cheetah-patterned lips. There's nothing wrong with Danielle. Besides, I can play with whomever I want, I said. Fine, you're not my friend anymore, Alexa said. She knocked where the red phone grows out of my hands, then she whipped around and stomped inside. I wasn't upset, but I'm not stupid either. I knew Alexa was going to make my life miserable. That was her game, and she was good at it too. Still, I had no clue how bad things would really get. That's the end of pages 28 to 42, chapters Luke to Jessica of Because of Mr. Terupt by Rob Boyer.